Aren't you a winter fresh on your way to someplace because you didn't brush your teeth in the morning? Yeah, I know that's you. Welcome to the 365 vlog. Let's go. People, today is November 16th, 2016, day 322 of the 365 vlog, and we're talking about the forgotten poor. This topic came up the other day when I was with Ari on the train, and one of the things that happened is a person who came on the train who was in desperate need of help. He wanted food and he wanted a seat. He wanted to sit down, and he asked someone for a seat. Someone gave up a seat to him. He sat down, and when he sat down, a lot of people who were sitting in the same bench as him or train seat were visually disturbed by him, I guess by his appearance, and even some made gestures that he stunk or whatever. Even though me and Arya didn't smell anything, but we weren't, I guess, as close as they were. I'm not sure. I'm not really gonna comment on that situation, but it spoke to something that was very interesting and something that had to deal with the election and some other things that I've just noticed happening around the city in and of itself. One of the things that I've noticed over the election year or just in general is that people talk about the middle class and creating all of these jobs, but I think one of the things that gets lost in all of this is the people who are already poor and not working, and I feel like they're forgotten, or it's like they're supposed to be there and be poor, or they're deserving of where their status is in life. And I feel like in the past, at least since I've been in college, for sure, the level of people who come on the train asking for money, or the struggling situation has just gone up like an L. It's a 90-degree angle. There was no curve to this. I didn't know the man in the story I talked about earlier, but I felt really bad because at the next stop he got off the train, and I don't know if he got off the train because he felt bad because other people looked at him, and I'm not going to try and assume or insinuate other things based off of his actions, but if he did feel bad, that's just really so sad, because no one should be treated like that or made to feel like that when they're already in a shitty situation as it is. Who knows what his story was? You don't know everyone's story, but it's just really sad having to see so many people struggling at one time. Start to think about what if I was in this situation, and how very easy it is for someone to fall in this situation, especially with the disparity between the rich and the poor, and how it can just if you make one mistake or something just goes really wrong in your life, and how many stories I think over the past year I've just heard, sad stories, whether they're true or not. There's to some level a bad situation going on that so many people have found that they need to go through the subway and ask all these strangers, already having to, I guess maybe in some instances, whether or not they care, belittle themselves or feel like they have to humble themselves in front of everyone. And that's just stressful, right? That's just stressful on one situation. You don't have money, you're in a bad situation, you have to ask people for help who are all judging you for being in this situation and not really understanding your story. And even half the other people probably don't believe some of the story that you're telling, so it even puts you in a more precarious situation where you're just stuck in this loop of, is anyone ever gonna help me? You get frustrated. Man, that's a whole bad shit of emotions, and just one maybe train ride having to just also be ignored. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm not exactly sure what's worse. I don't know if being ignored or just walking through as no one pays attention to your story or even pays attention to the fact that you exist and just goes on with their day, how detrimental that can be to your psyche. And does that even bother the people, or do the people who come and ask for help, are they even numb at some point where it doesn't even faze them anymore? I wonder what kind of mental play that has on someone, because that's why I also titled this video The Forgotten Poor, because it's even though they're in the train, it's they're not a person and they don't exist at all. But I guess it's also a way people use it as a mechanism to protect themselves so they don't have to feel all of the burden, because at the end of the day, if you felt everyone else's problems, you wouldn't be able to live your life, because you'd be way too stressed out thinking about what about this person, what about that person, this, that, and the third, and you'd never be able to live your life. It's a really hard situation, and I wonder when it'll get better. I really hope that these people can get out of the situation that they're in, because there's way too many people on the subway right now that are struggling and don't have homes and I don't know what their situations are, but it's just something I've just thought about just based off of that one guy, and culminated with everything that I've seen over the past couple of years going on in the subway. It's just really crazy, right? It's really crazy. And it's like, I even try myself to sometimes give change when I can, but I'm also guilty of being one of those people who's on the subway and doesn't really acknowledge them. Sometimes I'll turn down my music to hear their story, to at least give them an ear, but I guess I don't want to interact with them. I guess I'm just as cold as everyone on the subway. Stress. Guys, that's pretty much all this video. Sorry for the somber topic, but if you made it to the end and you like what you heard or sympathize with what you heard, hit that like button and subscribe for more. So tell me, guys, what do you think about what I said about the subway and people who are in dire need of help? What do you do when you see them? Tell me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Yeah, guys, I'm Vandal. Don't forget to keep it 365, and I will talk to you next time with another video. Peace, boy. I think that's an important key factor here if we're looking at it. One of the most important things is that people are consuming media so fast that maybe all of the new media that's being created now, we're going to specifically talk about movies, makes it really hard for something